Hello, this is Mike Lively, and this is Professional Papervision, Chapter 2. And in this chapter, we're going to show you how to get started with Papervision. Let's start by downloading its classes. Now, when it comes to downloading software, you're probably used to just going to the web, grabbing a zip, and unzipping it, and there you have your application. But Papervision is set up a little bit differently. It uses what's called a SVN client, or it's typically referred to as Subversion. Papervision has had over the past a number of different developers, about 10 to 12, and to keep those guys from essentially tripping over from each other, it's been set up on Subversion on Google. Now it's really easy to set up a Subversion on Google, and we'll show you how to do that later, but it's different than just downloading a zip. You have to actually get that, in a sense, that URL and use an SVN client. And a great one here for Windows is Tortoise, and here's another one for Mac, which is Synchronous SVN client. Now, if you're on Windows, I got to tell you, Tortoise SVN is just the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's a wonderful SVN client, and we're going to talk about that one. And if you're on a Mac, use Synchronous or another SVN client. Let's go to Tortoise right now. So if you just grab this URL and type it into your browser, up will come Tortoise from tigress.org, and you just want to download that. So here's the link right here, tortoisesvn.tigress.org, and you just want to basically just download that for your system. That's for Windows, and you want to install it. And once you've installed it, let's go to your desktop and let's go ahead and show you how to implement it. So all you have to do is on the desktop is right click and create a folder. So I called it PV3D Tort just to show you it's coming from Tortoise, and I'm going to right click on that folder, and immediately you're going to see SVN client checkout, and that's what I want. There's my Tortoise SVN. Isn't that cool? And so it's all done for you automatically just by right clicking on a folder. Now I need an address. So if I hit checkout here, up will come Tortoise, and what they want right here is an address for the repository, and that's easily found from the Papervision Google site. So let me go down here a little bit. So here it is right here. Just type this address into your browser, papervision3d.googlecode.com/svn/trunk, and that will basically grab all the Papervision classes. Let's first go to its Google code and show you exactly what I mean. So we're going to type in the browser papervision.3d.googlecode.com. And when you do that, that will bring you to the Papervision code. You can hit downloads if you want. And here's a number of downloads that you can grab. But what I really want to do is get that SVN client working. So I'm going to go here to Source. When I hit Source, it's going to say right here, here's the SVN checkout address. Go ahead and copy that. Go back to your folder where you right-clicked, and paste that address right there in the URL repository. And just hit OK. And when you do that, what's going to happen is all of those Papervision classes are going to start downloading, and you're going to get all the PV3.org classes that you need to run a program. Now just something real quick here. I want to go back to the site where this is downloading, and I want to just show you a little bit about the Google code. So I'm back on the Papervision Google code, and I want to show you how to surf the folder structure of the classes that have been built that you're going to use for your programs. Go to Source, and in Source, just go to Browse. And now you can actually browse that folder structure, and I'm going to go to Trunk, and you can see there's AS2, AS3, and there's branches. If I hit branches, you can see a CS4 branch. Stay away from that. That is not a functional branch. It's actually AS3 that you want to hit, and you can go to Trunk, and then go to SRC. That's where all the classes are going to be. And there's no chump, and then there's org, so let's click on org. And then you see there's Papervision3D. That's what you want to click on. And up will come all your different classes. And I'm going to scroll up there. And there they are right there. And I can click on those and actually surf through those different classes. Let's click on cameras, for example. And there's the different camera classes. There's the core classes right there. And you can basically surf through all the classes that you want to look at. If you click on one of the classes, here's the morph controller, for example. Click on that, and that class will actually come up, and you can go through that. Now, I'm going to suggest that you don't actually do it this way. This is one way of looking at it. But the best way to surf classes, of course, is to do that in Flex Builder or in Flex. And we'll do that shortly. And let's go back to look at our SVN download, and it's still clicking away. So it's going to take a while for this to download. There's quite a bit of classes to be downloaded, and you just wait around until it's finished. And when it's done, I'll show you how to bring those classes into Flash Builder and surf them. Now, if you're a Star Wars fanatic like I am, you'll remember this battle of Naboo with Jar Jar Binks. And at the beginning of the battle, he says, "It's time for ouch time." And when it comes to technology, you can feel like you're actually in a droid battle. Technology is moving so rapidly and so quickly. It's like plasma balls coming at you, and sometimes you're not sure which one to pick up and which one to run away from. And what we're going to do now is start a brand new technology, and that's Flash Builder. When we wrote this book, we had to make a decision. Was it going to be Flash? Was it going to be Flex? Was it going to be Air? What was it going to be? We decided it was going to be all of it. It was going to be Flash, Air, Flash Builder, Catalyst, and the newest technologies. Because I'm going to tell you from experience, I've learned a very hard lesson. And that lesson is you got to stay on top, just like Jar Jar Binks is on the top of this cannon, and not let technology pass you by. And let's take our Tortoise results. Let's take our Tortoise results and put those into Flash Builder. So before the Star Wars diversion, we had actually downloaded the Papervision classes using Tortoise, and I'm just going to open up the folder and see what we got. So when we open up the folder, we see there's an AS2 folder, an AS3, branches, and components. Now, as I've said, stay away from the branches, stay away from CS4. This is not good code. But where you want to go to get the classes to run Papervision is AS3. Click on that, and then there's a trunk. Click on that, and in the trunk, there is an SRC, and in the SRC are the NoChump and org folders. And the org folder is reverse syntax domain, as we discussed in the Flash tutorials. And click on Papervision, and there's all your classes. Now, this may seem a little bit overwhelming. You begin to click on these, for example, the core class. Look at all those sets of classes, and you open those, and there's tons of essentially classes in those. And it may look overwhelming, but we're going to go through this basically folder by folder as we proceed through the book, explain how these work, and also teach you how to port these over into Flash 10. So now that you have the folders, we're going to grab these two right here, and I'm going to copy these, and I'm actually going to bring them into Flash Builder, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history here and tell you why I'm going to use Flash Builder. So let's open up Flash Builder, and you're probably wondering, what is Flash Builder? So what is Flash Builder and why should I use it? And the answer to that question is Flash Builder is an evolution of Flex 3, but it's more than just Flex 3 with 3D added. It actually is an evolution in technology using a new thing called SXG graphics. And that enables you essentially to dissociate your code from your graphics and build some pretty incredible things. And we're actually going to teach you all about that. There's going to be an entire series on Flex Builder, so if you've never seen it before, if you go through the series, you'll understand it very well. But just like Flex, it looks very similar, but it's not the same as Flex. Like I said, it is an evolution of technology, but at least the interface is very similar. And we're actually just going to create a project and dump our Tortoise files into that. So let's right-click here, hit New, and we're going to click Flex Project. And we'll just give it a name. We'll call it PV3D Test. And just hit Finish. And what Flash Builder has done for you is automatically generated all this source code stub that you can work with and build your projects from. Here's our SRC folder, and here's our default file. We're going to basically paste those org Papervision folders that we put in our clipboard earlier into the SRC folder. Now, if you're going to run this in Flash, pretty much you just paste the same classes into your Flash folder and run your code from there. But for Flash Builder, you put it here. It's going to take a little while, so we'll come back in a moment. Okay, our folders have been pasted into Flash Builder. We're going to click on the org folder and go down to Papervision3D, And here's all the classes we discussed earlier. I'm going to come down here and let's go to spring camera, which is a very interesting camera arrangement. Actually incorporates acceleration and some physics there. And what I'm going to show you is an interesting trick that we're going to use over and over again. Very important is that if I see something I don't know what it is, I can hit the control key on my keyboard, roll over it in Flash Builder, and just click on it, and that'll take me to the class that it came from. And this is a very useful mechanism that will allow me essentially to search the classes in PaperVision and track down where they're from and what they do. So where you have a lot of refactoring, this becomes extremely useful. So if you want to get Flash Builder, and you should, go to Adobe, type in Flash Builder, do a search on it, and it'll take you to Adobe Labs where you can download it. And you have a 30-day trial here. Now I actually have Flash 3 through Education. I just put my Flash 3 ID in there, and it gave me Flash Builder for free forever. So it's exciting to see this new technology come out, and we'll be using it throughout the book.